Good morning and welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors. Just kind of getting my morning chores done here before I leave. Last night I took out 2 badgers. I just take a garbage bag, a black garbage bag, or a sheet of plastic, and I lay it up on the floor in the living room upstairs and just let them unthaw overnight. The way I have them froze, they're basically just flat with like the noses rolled up and the tail kind of folded over to kind of help the fat right by the butt not get freezer burned so bad, because it kind of dries out and then it can be a bugger to get fleshed off. So what I did is I just got done. I just used these 5-gallon pails. I throw the badgers in the pail, fill it full of water, let them soak just a little bit, and then I slosh them up and down, slosh them, scrub them, kind of get the bigger chunks off of them, and the water will just turn just black. It does every time when I catch a badger. Get them pretty well scrubbed off, and then just kind of start at the head and just kind of scrub the body, go all the way down to the tail. And then I shake them, give them a good whip. Hold on to the head and whip them. Hold on to the tail and whip them. And it kind of shakes off any of that dirty water. Dump the pail out, throw them back in, fill the pail full of water again. And usually the second time, your water is pretty clean. There's not usually a lot of dirt in there. If it is really dirty, you can do it a third time. I typically just do 2 times and then I'm done. And I did both of these. So you can see like the tail looks like it's nice and fluffy, like it shakes and it whips pretty good, but like the body part of it's still really wet. And if I found if I flesh it like this, that I'll end up have a tendency to like rub a spot of hair off, because it'll pull out fairly easy when they're wet, I guess. So these will hang here and dry all day while I'm running the line. I have a little fan right here behind these coyotes. We're going to move the coyotes and we're going to get that fan blowing on these guys, so they'll be getting air movement by them all day long. And hopefully tonight I can actually get these guys fleshed. They'll be dry enough to flesh. But I also found it was interesting. I just grabbed the top 2, the last 2 badgers I caught. Look at the difference in color. Look at how like dark and brown like the tail is on that one, and how light and kind of tan colored this one is. I mean, like, there you could see them both, how tan this one is and how dark. I mean, and even like the whole body, this one here is light. This one here, I mean, it's wet obviously, so it's a little bit skewed, but that guy's like probably the darkest badger I've caught, and this guy here is darn near the lightest badger I've caught. So I don't know, it's just I don't know if I've ever had that much contrast between 2 of them. But so yeah, I just got nails in my 4 joists that I hang stuff on, and then I just got an old tin pan that's waterproof, so it will hold the water, and then a 5-gallon pail. But you could see they've only been hanging here just a minute, how much water drips off of them. So I'm actually going to move that just a little so it's dripping more in the middle of it. And then the 5-gallon pail just to catch as much of as I can. Once I start the fan blowing, they'll start waving around a little bit, and then you kind of catch what you catch, but at least keep a majority of it off my floor. It's a linoleum floor, and then I have a sump pump hole over here, so everything's going to run that way anyway, so it's not like it's going to just puddle here or run all over the floor. But yeah, it'll just give you a quick look around. So we got 1 coyote there, 3 here, and 1 over here. I put them up, I think, 3 days ago, so they're probably actually ready to come off. I may take them off tonight, or I might leave them till tomorrow. The fox here, we got them basically in order. We got this one here I did the same day that I did all those coyotes. This one I caught the next day, and this one I caught the day after that. Yesterday's fur, the coyote and the fox, I didn't get them fleshed yesterday, so they're in a garbage bag, rolled up tight, and then sitting in my entryway where it's nice and cold. Basically, it's cold enough to be a fridge out there, so it was below freezing outside. Tonight when I get home, we'll get those two fleshed and get them on boards here. Like I said, I may take one of these off, one of the coyotes off, just so I can get that guy done. And then this beaver here and the one on top of the deep freeze over there were my spring beaver. I had them froze and I just took them out and just kind of laid them here. They actually stayed pretty flat. I'm actually a little surprised how flat they stayed. They're not the nicest beaver. This one here isn't bad. That big one's pretty rough looking. And then I got that beaver there, was the second one I caught this year. I maybe overstretched him just a little. You could see the white mark on him, but he's ready to come off the board whenever I get there. And then I got a couple raccoons. They're probably another day or so to be ready to come off of the stretchers there too. I also did take out a handful of skunks. I'm not sure exactly how many I took out because I just froze them in 2-gallon Ziploc bags. And I don't know how many were in each bag, so some of the bags had 2, some of them had as many as 4 in there, so I'm not sure how many are in there. Last night, before I started skinning and all that, so what I did is I just set the skunks there on thawed. I think there's actually 3 in that bag, and I think there's just 1 big one in this one. And then the coyote and the fox are in that bag. And before I went in last night, I restocked my entire bag, make sure all my baits and lures are ready to go. I filled up my peat moss and my urine bottle. So I think I'm pretty much ready to go here. We'll get the truck fired up and warming up, and yeah, I should have been goose hunting while I was. I just fill the pails full of water right here by the faucet, and then I just go out kind of by this planter and deal with them, because it's enough of a hill the water runs away from the house. Then the geese were coming literally in between this tree and these trees right here, right over the house. I mean, well within shooting range. I've shot them way higher than these were coming over. And there was a couple flocks did that. So if I'd have been ready, they'd been pretty easy pickings. Or out on the hill over here, or out on the hill behind the barn. They were just barely clearing the hill out there. It's a pretty stiff south wind today, which means it's gonna warm up, but it also is gonna be brutal out on the line today. So I guess that's the story of the season. If it ain't raining or snowing, it's windy as heck around here this year. Normally I don't get that kind of conditions, but this year that's what I got. So all right, enough babbling on here. We'll get the truck fired up. I think I gotta grab me a bottle of pop and we'll be on our way. Well, just my luck. So I've checked 2, this would be the 4th coyote set that I've checked, and I checked a weasel box with nothing in it in this ditch back behind me here. This is one of the new sets I just stuck out yesterday, and you guys probably aren't gonna be able to see it from here, but there is a big dirt pile piled up right next to where my trap, or right where my trap is. If anybody of you trap or have watched my videos, you know what a big dirt pile means by a coyote set. And of course it's quite a ways out there. It's, let's see, it is right here, directly below this kind of bushy tree. Let's see, I wonder if I can get the window down. That will help. I don't know, you probably aren't gonna be able to see, but it's way out here. Not the farthest one I have off the road, but it's gonna be fun because I get to carry a shovel, my dispatching device, and my trapping bag and all that out there. This field is pretty rough when you're walking out there, so it's kind of like, dang it, And the fact that I just took 2 out and got them ready to go, now I got a 3rd one to deal with. A catch is a catch, I guess. So we'll pack up all my gear here and we'll start hoofing it across the field here. When I get out there, I'll try to take a little video for you guys and show you what I got, but dang it, perfectly good coyote set. And then actually this one here, it's kind of funny, like the ground was froze a little bit, like clumpy froze, so I had a hard time even getting my trap bedded the way I wanted to. Now I got all the loose dirt in the world, and I suppose I probably should bring me an empty trap to go with this, as much as I don't want to carry all that extra gear as well. But I think we're going to. We'll carry an extra trap out there. We'll add a clean set. That's kind of my MO. If I catch a badger, we're going to throw a clean set in right next to it. So like I said, it's going to take me a minute to get all my gear packed up. And then, like I said, it's a heck of a hike out here. So when we get back out there, or get out there, we'll turn you guys back on. Alright guys, so I got walked out here. I'm going to try and keep you out of the wind. The wind is blowing this direction, so try to keep you out of the wind the best I can. I apologize in advance. I carried out a trap and my stake. I just threw it down right here, so I'm right in there. I'll make a clean set. Over this way I could make it, but when I was out here to make this set, over here I couldn't really find a good spot that I liked. I don't really like this row of corn stalks being so close to where I put my set. It almost acts like a blocker to keep the coyotes from going over to where my trap would be. So I opted along here where that row is all worked up. So like right over there I think will be a good spot. The pile of dirt, actually this is one of the least dug up badger sets I think I've ever caught. So my set was right here. You can see where my trap chain is going that way. My set was right here. There was just like a frozen clump like that kind of setting up here, and then underneath it I just kind of dug a little hole with my hand. I didn't even use my hole drill or anything like that. There was just kind of a nice little cavity right underneath that clump of dirt, and then I had my trap setting out in front of it. But yeah, he dug a little bit here. Didn't really like throw much dirt. He's got just a little right at where my trap was at, which is actually just fine. And there he is. It doesn't look like a real big badger. So it's funny how they just kind of get in a hole and they just are happy to be in their hole. Because like I said, this is probably one of the least amounts of piles of dirt I've had with a badger catch. Like he didn't dig the grass up or anything like that. Like my backing, this is going to be one of the easier ones I've ever had to set. The only trouble is my truck is way over there. So I got to carry my stake driver, my dispatch tool, the shovel, and my bag, all that stuff, and this guy all the way back to the truck. So we'll get him out of here. Like I said, we'll get him dispatching while that's happening. We'll go over here someplace. I'm not real sure. I'll just give you a quick kind of rundown of what I'm looking for. See, I actually kind of like this clump of dirt. It's not real high, but it's enough of a backing that it kind of keep the coyotes from going on that side. Even like I'll move this clump right here. My trap will be right here with a hole dug into this grass clump right here. Right here is going to be my set. And it's far enough from that set that I'm not going to catch, two animals aren't going to be able to fight with each other that close. But they're close enough that with the smell and the eye appeal of this should help bring them to this set. And I'll have to figure out what bait lure I'm using there yet. I don't even remember what's on this one. I'll have to look on my phone to figure that out. But all right, first catch of the day. This is one of the brand new sets I added yesterday. I've only checked 2. There's one over on the fence line over there. All I got is this big kind of drainage ditch. It goes down right here down by the culvert. I got a weasel box. I caught 2 weasels in there last year. This is the weasel box that the raccoons tipped over a few days ago. So yeah, and I also didn't want to put my set way down there on the corner because it goes and then it turns and goes this way. So I opted back here, so like a northwest wind would be blowing more like this. Well, if I'm way over there, my scent is blowing out on the wide open field. I wanted here to help blow like right down this whole gully. So if a coyote is hunting down through here, whatever, hopefully my scent would have been blowing right at him. Obviously today the wind's blowing this direction, so it's blowing out towards the road, but It is what it is, predominantly northwest winds. So I tried to play the set. Like I said, I maybe could have found a spot out here higher on this hill or farther out there, but I thought here with my wind blowing down, and that's actually why I want to move this way partly as well. Keep my scent blowing down this thing and not so much out over the open field. So use the wind in my favor. Some guys say it doesn't work, you got to be on sign. That's probably true too, but where's the sign? How would you ever find coyote tracks out here? There is a little bit of snow in here, so if they were wandering around, you might see tracks in the snow, but you're not going to find a lot of sign most of the places where I'm catching coyotes, or catching anything for that matter. So, all right, enough babbling. Let's get him out of here. We'll get moved on. Get back in the truck where it's warm. All right, guys, I was beginning to wonder if I wasn't going to make another catch today. Finally, I'm down to, I don't know, maybe 10 sets left to check or something. I don't have very many. I'm back behind this, the beaver, let's see, the beaver sioux is just right over this hill. Yesterday I had a coyote almost straight over here, kind of where you can see this, this guy standing there. Kind of just over this way, over the hill, is where I had the coyote caught yesterday. And I'd mentioned I had one on this side of the hill. So what there is, there's a big sioux here and some CRP grass on the other side. They planted a chunk of CRP in here. And normally this is a set that I'll have like on the other side of the fence, like over along the edge over here. And right here, there is a coyote laying there. Looks like a good size one. The one I caught yesterday I figured was just a pup, but this looks like a adult male if I had to guess, just the way he's all bristled up. So what I had, there's a rock laying here, laying right there, there's a rock. So I actually did cross the fence. I walked out there and grabbed a rock to use as a backer, and apparently it worked. We'll get out and show you this guy. And I'll kind of show you this pasture. Like, they do a very good job at weed control. Normally, if there's just even like 2 or 3 little weeds sticking up, that's all I need for a backer, just to get them to, you know, come around to the trap side of the little weed is what I'm looking for. So we'll get out, we'll give you a good look at them. The wind's still howling. I was hoping to add some sets, but I think the wind is getting more and more as we go along. So not sure if we'll get that done today or not, but we'll get out and give you a good look at him here. Yeah, so again, it's just the, you know, edge of this. Like I said, I have actually had it on the other side a few different years. I've moved it around down here, and I've never really done that great anywhere. After it snowed last year, the coyotes were coming out of this slough and then walking right along this edge, going up, and then they'd angle across up by these trees up here. So I thought, well, if they're gonna just walk on the pasture side of this anyway, why not put my set where they're gonna walk? So what I had is a dirt hole. Obviously he's got that kind of dug out, but I just had this rock here set up as kind of a backer, kind of about where the trap is setting, or maybe over this way just a little. We got ourselves a real nice looking coyote. Like I said, he's got to be a male. If he's not, I'd be very surprised, just the way he's posturing, and he's all puffed up, all hackled up, like he's ready to fight. He seems pretty content just to not even look at me. He don't even want to look. Again, pretty nice for a coyote this year. Maybe as many as I took out that were bad last year, trying to get you out of the wind and out of the sun. As many as I took out that had like rubbed necks and that type of stuff last year, maybe we kind of got some of the disease kind of in check, because I've had pretty good coyotes. I mean, very, very minimal rubbing. The necks have all looked good on them. This guy looks like he's in perfect condition, so we'll get him out of here and we'll move on. I still haven't checked the one where I had the coyote yesterday, so I might have another one over there, but we'll get this guy taken care of and then we'll go check that one and continue checking the rest of the line. All right, guys. Well, another fairly long day out on the line for me. I mean, fairly long. Nothing close to what it could be. The sun's still got plenty of light left in it. yeah, just ended up with the 2 catches today. The little badger, this is probably the smallest badger I caught this year. It's got pretty good fluff on the sides, but she's pretty flat right in the middle of the back, but which is typical for this time of year. But we're looking at them too in the basement. This one here is a lot darker brown again than that one. That one in the basement that's quite a bit littler. There's a big one and a little one. The littler one is the whiter colored one. That thing is like super white, so I don't know if that means it's gonna be worth more. I don't know. It has a little more poof than the other one too, so I don't know. Maybe we got ourselves a high dollar badger. This one is not though. This guy here ain't gonna fetch me. I mean, ain't gonna bring me $1 million. Wasn't worth didn't pay me for all the effort it took to walk out there and get him out of my trap and all that. So, and then we got the coyote. This guy here was all puffed up and everything when I got there. You could see he was kind of had his hair all standing up on edge. I took a few pictures of him after I shut the video off, grabbed my catch pole, went, and he literally just sat there. I walked up and just waited on him. He never even moved until never even moved until I had the thing completely tight on him. So, and then basically when I set the thing down, he flopped over. He never moved. I've never seen that, especially for males. Usually the males are the hardest ones to get in. They're real snappy, they're aggressive, they'll bite your pole. You know, just for, I don't know if you guys could see all like the gouge marks in there. That's all from coyotes and stuff grabbing onto that thing when you're trying to get it over their head. So this guy did not do that. He just basically laid there. But again, not the prettiest color. He's got pretty nice white belly for around here, but kind of the light brown. He's got a few burrs in him, but other than that, I think he's excuse me. Other than that, I think he's a pretty well-furred dog. I mean, we flip him over here. I mean, doesn't look bad at all. Isn't rubbed or anything. So we're gonna get these 2 guys skinned, and hopefully we'll get this badger skinned probably first. We'll get him in a pail of water, rinse him off, and get him hanging in the basement. I haven't checked the 2 from this morning, see how they're drying, but we'll get this guy at least washed. The coyote's pretty clean, so I don't know if we're gonna wash him or not. I may just try and flesh him just like he is if I don't get blood all over him trying to skin him. So but yeah, this badger, I'm going to try and get him. I may not be able to get him put up tonight, but if I get him washed tonight, I can always stick him in the entryway again overnight, and tomorrow when I get home he'll be ready to, you know, I can hang him again and dry him until he's completely dry, and I can get him put up tomorrow night. So I didn't plan on doing 3 right now, but you know, of course that's my luck. I plan ahead a little bit and take 2 of them out. I easily could have taken just 1, but I decided, we'll take 2 out, and then I ended up catching 1 almost right away in the line. So yeah, the new sets caught me 1 badger today. They were only out 1 night, so I added 6 coyote sets today and 3 raccoon sets. I don't have a lot of faith in the raccoon sets. It's fairly warm out here right now. It got up to like 45 was just a bit ago. So maybe the raccoons will move a little tonight, and those new sets, maybe I gotta drive right by there anyway, so it's gonna take me 3 seconds to basically just slow down, and I'll be able to see whether there's anything in them or not. And you never know. All it takes is one, you know, one dumb one to walk in there, and I'll have myself another raccoon. So I think I told you this too. I was thinking about this on the line today. So if the weather stays above freezing overnight, I typically will catch raccoons. I don't catch a lot of them. You guys are kind of seeing I'm not even at 20. I think I'm at like 18 for the year. But I caught all those early while it was still warm. You know, the days were like 50, the lows were like in the high 30s or even mid 30s. But going into the night, I mean, it was like 40 plus degrees, and the raccoons seem to move around my area. This time of year, if it gets below freezing and stays below freezing all night, like it was 21 degrees at like 10 o'clock last night, the raccoons just shut down around here. They den up someplace, They just don't move. There are exceptions to the rule. I do catch some that are, on a cold night like that, but it seems like for the most part, it's got to be pretty warm going into the night, and then I think they maybe move early and then den up when it starts to really get cold. So, and also, I think the wind's supposed to kind of stay down tonight. It's not supposed to be quite as windy, and I think that will also help with the raccoons might want to move around if it's not quite so windy and cold and blustery out tonight. I don't know what the weather's really supposed to be, but there is a chance, at least the next few nights, it's supposed to be a little warmer, that they maybe will be moving around. So, all right, I think that's it. Yeah, I added some sets. So I think in the last 2 days I added 17 coyote sets and 3 raccoon sets. It's a lot of extra bait and lure I got out there, but all it takes is just one of them. Well, this badger doesn't hardly count because I'll get not hardly enough to pay for the bait and lure I had on the 2 sets I have out there right now. So, because I did make a new set where I caught him, but all it takes is one coyote in those 17 sets. Basically, I got, I don't know, roughly a week left to trap here. If I catch one coyote in all those new sets in that week, basically that more than pays for any of the bait and lure and everything else. So, probably not even less than that. Maybe a half a coyote is a break-even point on all that. So if I catch one in the next week, I'll be ahead. If I catch more than that, it was more than worth putting them all out there. It's going to be kind of interesting getting them all pulled. It's probably going to be a 2-day process to get all my traps pulled this year because I'm going to have to walk out to quite a few of them. I did drive across a couple fields today to add the couple of the sets. The fields were not bad. It's froze hard enough, or it's froze enough that they're pretty solid, and it's been blowing enough and the snow's been gone for a few days here that the top is nice and dry. It seems like dry and powdery, but I don't trust most of the fields, so they're kind of select ones, and I was very careful where I drove, tried to stay on the highest parts of the field, and yeah, just kind of tested it out. I drove out a little bit and stopped and looked to see how deep I was sinking in. I was only sinking in a couple inches, which is actually about the same amount you'd sink in on a normal year if it wasn't so wet. So I may be able to drive out to some of them to get them picked up, but like I said, we'll have to kind of play that by ear. I may end up pulling a few on Saturday next weekend and then pulling the rest of the line on Sunday, but we'll kind of see how that's going to go. It just kind of depends on where they're at. If I got to drive a ways out of the way to check 1 or 2 traps, I may pull them on Saturday just to save me a little bit extra driving time on Sunday to get everything pulled. I do have 8 mink boxes still out. One was set off today. I couldn't really see that there was sign of anything there, so I don't know. It could have been a miss on a mink or a weasel, or I'm not real sure what happened there, but we'll probably be picking them up next Saturday just because the boxes take up so much room in my truck. But yeah, other than that, I think that's about all I know. We'll get these guys taken care of tonight. We'll get the coyote and fox from yesterday taken care of, fleshed, and try and get them on boards, and we'll get these guys taken care of tonight, hopefully, and we're just getting fur work done. I'd rather be setting more traps, but I really don't know of any spots right now where I want to add an extra one. Maybe as I'm driving around in the next day or two, if I find spots, I'll try and get them set. But after that, basically the next couple of days, if I don't get the coyote traps set, I probably won't put them out at all. I just don't know that it's worth the effort to get them set out there for the short period of time that I got left to check them. So, all right. I just want to thank you guys for watching Schmattz Outdoors. Hit the thumbs up on this video because I'm making catches for you guys again. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Go and subscribe to somebody else's channel in the hunting and trapping world. We all can use the support. Otherwise, we'll see you guys out on the line tomorrow.